So, talk about the competitive landscape here. Who else is doing something similar to what you're doing? And if you look at, who's leading the race, can you talk a little bit about others that are doing this and what differentiates yourself?
The fun part is when you really sit and characterize it, there's not a lot of people that I consider to be similar. There's people playing in the league of manufacturing for extreme environments, definitely. But then when I compare our tech and I look at their tech, we're hitting different niches. I like to use the term competimates, as opposed to competitors because the industry is still relatively novel, deploying 3D printers into combat zones or natural disaster sites or space. That it's an early enough market that we're all still trying to understand the ebbs and flows of how this works. So we have the liberty of saying that we are kind of more like working together to solve a unified challenge as opposed to really competing with each other. Um, but circling back to that thought a little bit further, if I was to pinpoint some of our value proposition at SpaceCopy, I would primarily delineate that as the fact that we have super modular, highly customizable system. You can get it in a desktop format, so about the size of your laptop, all the way up to something that prints a cubic meter in size. So they vary greatly in their modularity and their size capacity. But moreover than that, it is the ability to process multiple materials and 3D print them in one mechanism without actually having to change over specific hardware. It's done autonomously. It has mineral identification technology integrated into the printer so that if you're working with a thermoplastic, a carbon fiber, a metal, or a ceramic base like regolith or sand, that you're able to differentiate what kind of process parameters you need to 3D print with without actually having to make a physical adjustment to the printer itself. Um, we follow that up with automated post-processing and quality assurance, and that is just not something that I've seen done in an enclosed, looped cycle. I feel like that takes a lot of different pieces of individual equipment, and our goal is to be able to deploy one single piece of hardware that, again, can be dragged and dropped into those ecosystems. So that's my trail of value proposition is just the ability to do all of that in one step.